Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be looking at one interesting indicator. We will see how we can utilize this indicator to look for the opportunities which we are likely to have with a higher probability so that we have higher probability of making money than of course losing money. That is our main goal, to make more money than whatever risk which we have to take. Now if we consider this indicator, from the name you can make a inference that this indicator gets prior data into consideration, and using that it tries to predict the price based on the regression modeling, statistical modeling, using the regression analysis. And it if we plot it on the chart, it looks like pretty much like a moving average, but this is you can say it is a moving average of the regression, linear regression, and we use multiple linear regression lines to arrive at this plot of the TSF, time series forecast. So there is a statistical tool which you can utilize to consider the trend. The classical interpretation is also similar to what we consider the use of moving average when we have the underlying price action above this time series forecast output value, that is considered bullish, and when we have the underlying instruments closing price below this time series forecast, that is considered bearish. So this interpretation is pretty much like the use of moving average, and also in its appearance on the chart it pretty much looks like the moving average. But there is one key difference in the moving average and this indicator, that this indicator is giving you a predictive price based on the prior price action, and it is not the moving average. It is simply drawn using the regression of the prior price action, and it tries to project the price. So this price, the current output of the TSF, is the projected output using the prior data, and it is not a moving average price in any manner. So that is the difference between the moving average and the time series forecast. This indicator is derived using the linear regression output values, and using that we get this projected price, and if we have the current price above that, then that is considered bullish, and if we have the underlying instruments price staying below the time series forecast output, then that is considered bearish. So in a way you can also use it as the tool to look at the trend, and if we have significant enough deviation from this time series forecast, then that can also be implied to look for the overbought or oversold scenarios using the standard deviation and other similar tools. So this indicator you can use it both ways, to trade with the trend as well as while trading against the trend. So both these possibilities are there. Now it's a calculation. We will not really go into the exact formula. For that you can always do bit of search and you will easily get the exact formula of the time series forecast. Now we will mainly concern with its uses and some of the applications, and for that let us consider its customization options given on the platform. We can vary its applied price, so we get this option of utilizing different applied prices. We have the close price being currently used as its applied price. Now if we want to vary it, we can always go for different types of these applied prices, and based on that you will have significant difference, significant deviation observed in this plotting of the time series forecast. So pay attention to these charts and how it changes whenever I am changing the applied price of this indicator. So there is one interesting observation, and using this you can then see how things are shaping up in the market based on different criterions, and using that, then you can decide to trade. All right. So this is how these things are shaping up. Now, if we look at these different applied prices, and I think we can utilize this high applied price to look for the significant enough deviation. In general, if things are going sideways, we will not really have the applied price staying above this linear regression based TSF, and if we are using high price as the applied price, as you can observe on this plotting, only when there is significant price pressure on the upside, we are observing these indicators being below the price of the underlying instrument. And in most of the cases, even when things are simply going sideways, we have the time series forecast being on the higher side of the candlestick price pattern. So there is one interesting observation. Similarly, you will observe that when you use low price as the applied price for this indicator, it will usually be remaining below the it will remain usually below this candlestick data, and only when there is significant price pressure on the selling side, it will be on the higher side. So you can also utilize this formation to look for the strength of the trend. If there is a significant enough trend, and that trend is having the required momentum or not, you can use this indicator to figure out that kind of opportunity also. So this is one interesting formation which you can utilize using this indicator. The time period of the calculation can also be varied. Suppose if you want to use it on the lower time frame, you can do that. If you want to utilize this indicator to look for the time series forecast on the higher time frame, you can do that as well. So all these opportunities can be exploited simply by varying these calculation period. Let's try out a small calculation period of 7. In that case, the fluctuation is going to be significant. Here we will have this indicator changing its trajectory simply based on this immediate price fluctuation, as it is simply being calculated based on the immediate 7 candlestick period data. So as a result of that, any single candle's impact is going to be huge if it is having significant move, and then that candle is going to cast its shadow, you can say cast its impact on this indicator, and as a result of that, we will have these swift changes being observed in these indicators plotting. So this is with the lower. Suppose if you want to increase its calculation period, you can do that as well. Now there is going to be a lot more stability compared to what we were observing when we were using simply the lower time frame for the calculation purpose. Now with the higher time frame calculation, you will have a lot more stability, and only when there is a significant as well as sustained change in the price trajectory, the time series forecast will also follow suit. And if there is not enough of momentum, if the spurt in the price on either direction leaves proves to be short-lived, in that scenario, this indicators plotting won't be impacted that much. So this is one interesting key takeaway when you use a higher time frame for the calculation purpose of the TESF. All right. Now coming to the customization of the editing output value. You can go for different color combinations of your choice. So all these color combinations are available to you to work with, and you can figure out the color combination and then decide to go for the color combination of your choice. If you want to keep this indicator less prominent on the chart, you can do that as well. So here you have this option to work with the indicator in such a manner that its output will be looking a lot less prominent on the chart, while main focus remains on the candlestick formation. Okay. Levels. This editing tool is not really going to be much helpful. Coming to the advanced editing option, if you want the indicator to remain stable throughout the current candle period, then you can opt in for the first option of recalculate on new candle only. So once the calculation is done, that value will remain throughout the current candle period till new candle formation takes place. So it will bring stability to the output. Else, whatever is your applied price, if it keeps fluctuating, then the indicator's output will also keep fluctuating, and with that you will have to deal with the changing output value. So you can eliminate that possibility simply by using this recalculate on new candle only. Highlight the time period zone. Whatever is your calculation period can also be highlighted by using this highlight time period zone option. Customization can also be done in case of the instrument. You can use this indicator on almost all of the instruments available on the platform, so that option is there to work with. The candle period can also be set differently from the chart, or you can use it from the chart. Now, as the candle period is used from the chart, whenever I change the charts candle period, the new calculation of the indicator will be done as per the new candle period. So here the time series forecast has been now plotted using 15-minute candle data, and if I change to say for example 4 hours, then the calculation will be based on 4 hourly formation, but we can define it independently of this factor also. So if you want to keep it fixed, that can also be done. So now here, if I opt for hourly, even though the chart is drawn using the 4 hourly candle period, this indicator has been plotted with the help of hourly candle period as its input parameter. So that's how this differentiation works in. Now I will restore it back to use from the chart side. Can be ask or bid, and there will be slight difference depending on which side of the spread you are using. You can simply use it from the chart. If you want the indicator to be available on all the candle periods, you have this option. Else, you have to specify on which time frame this indicator should be available. Now that I have opted only 1 hour and 4 hour, only on hourly and 4 hourly chart this indicator is going to be available. But if I change to say for example 30 minutes, then this indicator won't be available. So there is one interesting formation where you can have multiple indicators working on different time frames to look at the developments of the price action, and then you can take the trades accordingly. So this is the reason behind working these indicator customization options to our advantage. So try it out and let me know how this indicator works out for you. I hope it will be able to help you figure out the opportunities to trade with in a profitable manner. So give it a try and try to customize it in such a way that whatever is your system, it fits well quite in, and then it helps you figure out the opportunities to trade with. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. So that's all from my side for today's session. Thank you all for joining in. I will be back tomorrow with the new indicator, new explanation, new concept, and many more new things to talk about. See you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day ahead.